Hello, YouTube. I know by the title, y'all are shocked. Y'all are not expecting this from your girl, honey. I know y'all reading like, is rereading this right? Pilgrims. Yes, honey. Y'all read the title right. We're here to give my review on working for Pilgrims, the hiring process, how my first week orientation went, and all of that good stuff. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So on this channel, I usually do work from home reviews. This is the first actual business, you know, 9 to 5, so to speak, or in this case, 4 to 1:30 in the morning type job that I've actually done on here. I usually, restrict myself to work at home opportunities, but in this case, I say it'd be interesting since there is not too many Pilgrims reviews to give, a good thorough review from a actual person that's not working in HR or something like that, even though that's the position I originally applied for, which I would have been better suited for considering, I speak English, I speak French. Not no Italians out there, but the French will really help. But yeah, just in case y'all can't place this accent, I am from North Carolina. The Pilgrims branch I applied for is in Sanford, North Carolina. So this is my thoughts of Pilgrim's Pride in Sanford, North Carolina. So getting started is the hiring process. I applied twice and did not receive no response back online. Resume, establishing everything. I didn't go over the top with my resume, filling in stuff that's not relatable to the job, which it's hard for me to do because I never did a factory like job before. And I partially did this job in response to my mother's thinking that I would not be capable of doing such a job. Which she might have been right on a little bit, but I wanted to prove a point. Hold on, y'all. I think somebody's at my door. Like I said, I wanted to prove a point because in all the stuff that I've done throughout my career, I've never done a very labor intensive like job. Y'all know I come from a background of having 10 plus years of customer service experience. I come from having a translator experience, going to school with business with a emphasis in marketing, going back to school, becoming a licensed medical esthetician that specializes in skin color correction and melanated skin. So I work on Native American skin, African skin, dark skin in general. Although I can fix, discoloration in white skin as well. So I'm skilled with all Fitzpatrick's 1 through 5. If you're suffering from wrinkles, acne, discoloration, um, or you just need a wax, I'm your girl for all of that. So fell on a little bit of hard times once I lost my job with Conduit. And then y'all know North Carolina is still dealing with some hardship post, Hurricane Florence. So that slowed up the aesthetic business for the time being, in addition to being in this, apartment, because I'm not, in a big enough house just yet, and let alone, in the financial position to go on into a salon suite. So all of those factors playing in a part with the dwindling of my aesthetic business. And I don't have a car, so I can't do like freelance to the degree of which I would want to do where I can travel to people. So all of those are playing against me. So I say, okay, let me find a stable enough job where I can get consistent hourly money, and then I can save up for a car and a house, and then build up from there. And then from there I can then go into looking into renting a salon suite, and then I wouldn't have to worry no more. I can travel with the car, and for clients who want to pay the extra fee, I can travel to them for certain services. So that's the goal. That's what made me apply for Pilgrims. Um, like I said, applied online twice, applied for HR and applied for general worker, got denied both times. So my mother suggested that I go up there. I went with my cousin. We traveled and like I said, I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina, so it's about an hour's worth of drive. We got there in the morning time. They was having a job fair, but the job fair wasn't going to start at 10. We was already there for 9. The guard let us in the gate to apply in the office. So we applied. 2 days later, I got a call back. We applied that Tuesday morning around 9 o'clock. Got back here by 11. And I swear within 2 days they was already calling us back. Um, they called us back to do, what did they call us back for first? Oh, the orientation. They called us back for that Monday. So that Monday we got called back for um orient not an orientation, but they called us back for an interview. And the interview is, I thought was just going to be one on one. Turns out that the first thing they did was we all got special shoes put over on our shoes, and we literally got walked through the plant, which was interesting because it's like they didn't give us no hair nets or nothing the first time. It's like they just throwing us right into the plant on the first day as far as walking through the whole facility to see if we can handle this. And I was like, could we at least got some cover or something? Like, I don't, as I think about it, I don't remember getting no plastic. Did we get a plastic covering that day? I don't recall. I think we got a plastic covering. We got a plastic covering. We got the shoes. I don't remember us having the earplugs in that day because we definitely didn't have the hairnet, I don't think. Yes, we did. No, I'm lying. I'm lying. It's coming back to me now. Um, we had the hairnet, we had the ears, we had the shoes. Okay, we didn't have the blue cover, so that's why I'm thinking. Okay, we didn't have the blue cover the first time that we went in there. It was just us in our regular clothes. We walked through the whole plant from the cold side to the hot side, multi levels, live hanging, and all of that. Now, your girl don't do the heat. I love the cold. I'm a Capricorn. You can put me in sub-0 degree temperatures. My body is fine. And I know that's ironic because I suffer from Crohn's disease and low iron. So you would think it would be the opposite. But my body actually goes out of whack when it's hot as opposed to cold. Like I said, normally it's the opposite when somebody suffers from low iron and Crohn's disease. But I put in for the cold side. So they walked us around. I'm seeing the things. I'm like, okay, girl, you only got 6 months to do this shit. I stomached it through. The worst part was actually seeing that live hanging where the birds are actually gas. So you're not dealing with the live birds per se, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I mentioned some tales about that one. But needless to say, they walked us around. It was a half-hour experience. Got out. They called us one by one for our individual interviews, and of course, I would have to be dead last. Now I don't know the irony of this that my cousin got called in first. Now, mind you, we put in our interviews at the exact same time. We arrived at the exact same time, and they called his ass first, and they called my ass last. I said, "Oh, they going by this shady handwriting, honey." Cause y'all know I'm left-handed, and you know how fancy left-handed folks are. So I'm saying, oh, it would be my luck that my handwriting, and that's why I applied online the first 2 times, because I know my fancy presidential handwriting, it does not sit real with most righties, honey. My left-handed darn gonna have me waiting 7 o'clock for the interview. Interview came around. They asked me general questions about what brought me to the plan, and they educated me on the history of the plan, how they teamed up with Costco, and how they got the 7-year contract with Costco, how the building expanded, how they got all the modern day technology that puts them, at an advantage over Butterball and Smithfield and all this, that, and the third. They asked about my strengths. They asked about my weaknesses, how I could be an addition to the company, all that good stuff. And, I'm selling myself. And, I'm using, keywords. And that's key with any job, that even if you've never been in a job like this before, you want to use as many keywords as possible to make you stand out. Like, I made sure to relate my experience with Kirby with this job, how I can adapt to extreme temperature changes. That might not seem like much, but every type of keyword counts. especially when you're dealing with a factory job where they already looking at you like, okay, she look like she don't even supposed to be here. It's like clear skin. You got a background in aesthetics. You need to tell us something like how in the world you go from this to this. So if you find yourself in my situation, this is how I got myself through the door. I mentioned how as a licensed esthetician that I have to deal with being under pressure, doing a lot of bending and flexing, which is, true. With clients, when you're doing waxing and stuff, people just think it's just easy. It's like, no, especially when you waxing plus size models and all that, we got to do a lot of, holding the skin taut, and we got to lift the leg up. We have to help you turn around. We do body, I do it all. So with body wraps, waxing, any of that, it requires moving the client to a certain extent. That is called heavy lifting. So that is one way I can relate to working in a factory if I had to lift up 70 pounds of chicken and throw it into the thing, which I have done on this job. So mentioning that I am used to lifting upwards of 100 plus pounds was actually a plus on my resume. Also working in Kirby, being out from as early as 10 o'clock in the morning to as late as 10 to 12 at night, in hot temperatures and cold temperatures, constantly lifting up a 40-pound darn gone, vacuum, changing it into multiple parts, going up and down stairs, doing continuous repetitive motions on a daily basis, pulling 100 pads, um, you know, doing the mattress test and then breaking it back down within 5 minutes back in the package, and then go to the next door and do a demonstration. That constant, repetition of working with that type of machine in various temperatures and various housing, and also trying to market at the same time, that was another plus, for them as well to hear that I can adapt to temperature changes. I can do heavy lifting. Um, I'm open to diversity as far as being around, different cultures because of my career field as a medical esthetician, as a person who's been in customer service over 10 plus years. I've done numerous call center jobs. I've done clerk work. I've done some assistant with the courthouse. Done lobbying and campaigning. My resume goes on and on and on and on. So it's pretty much about tailoring your resume and taking out certain keywords um, that is applicable for the job of Pilgrims. Making sure that you can relate any type of job that you've been in with, can you hold up in a factory? Can you survive being in this type of low temperature or very hot temperature? Are you willing to learn how to work a wizard knife? Honey, I ain't know what a wizard knife was. I thought it was like a knife that you cut with until I actually saw the circular blade and I was thrown for a loop. I was darn on completely clueless, but you know how they say fake it till you make it, honey. Got to do a little bit of that too. So just nod when it comes to those questions. You'll learn all that during orientation. So needless to say, I'm feeling like 70%, like, ooh, they might call me back. They had a good strong poker face, the darn on head person out in the plant and the HR manager. I said, ooh, they got their poker face on pretty good, honey. Now I knew I wore the HR manager down. I said, okay, I know I got the job with him, but this one over here got a strong poker face. I don't know if he might recommend me or not. And his voice mattered a little bit more. So they called me back, said they needed me to come in with the urinalysis. And it's like bingo, if they call you for the urinalysis, you got the job. So I went back that Friday. So Monday I did the interview. I went in that Friday for the urinalysis. Now the urinalysis is on the spot. You're going to go in the bathroom. It's a designated bathroom in the section. So for y'all to try to be slick, please don't bring the baby pee and all that. Trust me, they're gonna check and all. Not that I had to do it. Y'all know I don't do no drugs or anything. I don't even smoke cigarettes. Been off Percocets, Oxycontin for many years now. Since switching over to a holistic lifestyle. But for people who do take, extracurricular activities, and it's not for medical reasons. Like with me, if I took Percocets, they probably would excuse it because of the fact that, I have Crohn's disease. But for some of y'all that do it for, recreational reasons, yeah, you might want to be cognizant of that. You might want to take several days off of your habit. For marijuana, you might want to take a good month and some change off of marijuana before applying for this job, because they will have you empty your pockets out. They go to the bathroom. You can't flush the toilet, anything. They are literally right outside the door, so you can't try nothing sneaky or anything for people who do that. I'm surprised they haven't just gone to the hair follicle. But then again, I guess they know that a lot of people out there is somewhat dirty, and they done some stuff to get around this test. So hair follicle would darn gonna eliminate quite a few people out there, honey. So let's hope they don't ever, for y'all's sake, hopefully they don't convert to hair follicle. But you're gonna pee into the thing. They're going to put a special seal on it and turn it to the side, and it's going to tell within a matter of a few minutes whether you passed or not. Meanwhile, they're going to give you a mini physical. Make sure you don't suffer from no arthritis or anything. They're going to have you bend your arm to a certain degree. Make sure you rotate your arms and stuff like this. And during the time frame that you do that, if your pee is still clear, or yellow, as long as it ain't changed no funky colors or anything, you pretty much got the job. So that Monday, you're going to start your orientation. Pretty much you're in class with a fellow group of people. With me, it was a group of 30 people. Like I said, this is a very diverse plant, so you might have some Spanish-speaking people in there, and you might also have some Africans. We didn't have any Africans in our class, but we did have a combination of Hispanic Spanish-speaking people and Black Spanish-speaking people, combination of Mexicans and Dominicans. The videos are going to be bilingual. The teacher is actually bilingual at this facility, where she will re-instruct the certain words back in La Espanol, the packaging and everything. So very Spanish friendly towards my Spanish speaking people. So if you are an immigrant here, or naturalized citizen, you got your documents and stuff together, and you want to apply for a job that is very Spanish friendly, honey, Pilgrim's Pride is where it's at. Also, to my Africans, they do have people out there that speak, la Francais. And like I said, if they would hire me for HR, I could have darn gone been helped out there too, honey. French is my language, boo-boo. But anyways, the class is generally 5 days. Now for us, since I got, what was the first day I got started? I think it was July 1st was my first day of orientation. Let me check. I might be lying. Let me check. Yeah, it was July 1st. July 1st was my first day of orientation, because it was a 4-day week for us. Normally it's 5 days, but they let us out on the 5th because of the holiday on the 4th. Now you would have thought that we would have had the 4th off, and they would have and we would have came back on the 5th, but the whole plant decided to have a 3-day weekend. So instead, what they did with us is we had to cram 5 days of information into 4 days, and yeah, we lose 8 hours. Normally you would get paid for 40 hours, but in that situation, we got paid 32 hours for training at $13 an hour. Now, that might vary depending on what state you're in. Of course, if your state has a higher minimum wage than 13, you will get paid minimum wage in that state, which in our state is actually a significantly higher than minimum wage. If you're in one of the 21 states, such as North Carolina, that pays $7.25 an hour, $13 an hour is actually pretty good money. So orientation pay is $13 an hour at the time that I'm doing this video. Like I said, you're going to go over paperwork. You're going to bring in 2 forms of identification within your first 2 days of being there. For me, I brought in my driver's license and my social security card. If you have a passport, that will work too. Identification card, that will work. All of those, you're going to need at least 2 forms of verification. to you know, get your stuff together. Next thing you want to need to have within your first 2 days is your bank information. If you do not have a bank, you can sign up with a prepaid card with them, or you can sign up with PNC Bank. Now, PNC Bank, they have a special with Pilgrim's Pride, where if you sign up with them and you get $1,000 worth of direct deposit, and this is at the time that I'm currently saying this, this might be subject to change, but they currently have a bonus where if you have direct deposits upwards of $1,000, which is not that hard, you get paid by the average of $560 a week out at this job. So $1,000 in deposits within your first 60 days, and you make 10 purchases. Within 30 days of you fulfilling those requirements, $200 will get on your card. Now, I can't prove that just yet, but that's some other people have already confirmed that they got their payment. I'm still early in. I haven't even got my second check yet. So with that being said, once I get $1,000 into my PNC account, and then I get 10 purchases on that card that I make, and it can be for anything. It's like if you wanted to be real fickle and just do $10 purchases at Walmart, you can do that. As long as it's $1,000 in direct deposits and 10 purchases, and like I said, you're getting paid $14 an hour if you're on second shift, $13 an hour if you're on first shift. Now they do have premium jobs, which I have a premium job. I'm saying had because my job is still in limbo. I get to that in a moment. But on Drum Debone, which is where I end up getting selected for, was a premium job. That's going to be $14.50 as long as you're making your weight requirements of 800 pounds for drums, 2,000 pounds for breasts. If you're on breast debone, you got to do 2,000 pounds. If you're on drums, you got to do 800 pounds, and I think for thighs you got to do like 1,200 pounds. Don't quote me on the thighs. But yeah, training is pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to be looking at the videos. You're going to fill out your paperwork, all of that, getting to know your classmates because you might be working with some of them. With me, I was fortunate enough to work with 2 out of 30 of my classmates. Most of my classmates went on first shift. I went on second shift, which I had 2 classmates that were assigned to Drum Debone with me. Another one was on second shift, but he was in Saddle Pack. So that is pretty much Pilgrims all in a nutshell as far as what to expect through the hiring process and orientation. This video is already 23 minutes long. I done crammed a lot of information within a short period of time, and it might have gotten all jumbled together. So if you need me to clarify anything, definitely feel free to leave it in the comments box below. I'm not going to go into details about me being actually in my job field, doing Drum Debone and the other jobs they had me rotate throughout in that factory, because I'm going to save that for a whole nother video, that way to keep the time down. I don't want to have one long hour-long video. So if y'all need me to reiterate anything on this video as far as the hiring process, what to fill out on the paper, certain keywords to think of with jobs that if you never had any background with factory work before. Like I said, I did not have no factory experience at all. I worked as a translator, I worked as a clerk, I worked as a medical esthetician, as a sales rep, customer service agent, independent beauty rep. I have many different darn on hats. Technical support agent, translator. Never worked at no factory. Matter of fact, not only have I never worked at a factory before, but I never touched chicken a day in my life. Yes, you hearing that right. Other than darn on eating it, honey. I ate darn on Popeye's chicken. Well, no, I'm lying because I have fixed chicken every now and again with my grandmother when she was alive. I have done breaded chicken and all of that, but I'm talking about as far as cutting it up myself. Usually, I've always had somebody do that for me. I've never done no thorough cutting of no chicken a day in my life, let alone with a professional darn on, machinery equipment. I've never done that before. And now I can say that I have touched over 10,000 pieces of chicken, which is something that most people probably cannot even say in a lifetime. I can say I've done that within 1 week alone. I've hung well over 10,000 chicken legs. I have deboned over 1,000 pounds of meat in counting. But I would go through all of that and how I got acclimated and used to that within part 2 of this video. But as far as the hiring process, orientation, what to expect, if you have any additional questions, leave it down below. Like this video if it was helpful to you. Share and subscribe, and I will see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.